everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Hombre, Bad Hombres. I know I'm saying that wrong because every time I search for it using my voice, it never picked it up. So I had to actually type that one in. So Hombres, you know. Anyway, so this is, so now I see it starting. It's Redbox, so that's probably where I found it. And it's from Redbox, so that's how I found it. But it's on Amazon Prime. It's funny, when you look it up on IMDb, it says for $3.99. When I go to rent it on Amazon Prime, it's $4.99. I don't have another option, but it's on sale. So it's an hour and 20 minutes long. Here's the cool part, right? I mean, like, so I don't know why I added, you know, I got an email from Redbox, and I thought it looked interesting, so I added. So Diego Tinoco, T-I-N-O-C-O, I don't know how to say his name. And that he's the main guy, I guess. He's the first guy on IMDb. But Thomas Jane, Luke Hemsworth, Tyrese Gibson, Nick Cassavetes, and then there's another name, Paul Johansson, One Tree Hill, yep, are in this. It's 5.1 on IMDb, but only 164 people rated it so far. I don't know if I said already, but it's an hour and 20 minutes long, so it's a nice short film. You know, getting what you pay for. But two undocumented immigrants take the simple job of digging a hole in the desert. But when their employers turn out to be psychopaths, staying alive will become the most complex jobs of their lives. So, I don't know. I'm pretty intrigued. I'm spending $4.99. Don't be fooled. The $4.99 on this film for you tonight. I'll let you know. It's probably like $1.99 if you go to Redbox and get the DVD. I don't even know if my DVD player works anymore. But probably could have drove there, spent $1 extra to get there and back, and did it this way. But anyway, I'll let you know if it's worth the $4.99 on Amazon. All right, stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Bad Hombres, and I think the question you're probably wondering, if you're stuck around this long, is it worth it? And I think so. Definitely worth $3.99, and anything cheaper. $4.99, yes. It's an hour and 20 minute film, and I'll say I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I gotta be careful here on everything, but I'll say this, right? It's an action film, and we'll get into it a little bit more. But it's very light on meaningful dialogue. What do I mean by that? I mean, they do talk in this, right? And there's not, but you don't have to rely on the dialogue to follow the movie. That's what I mean. I mean, yes, there's things that they talk about, and very little is it, you know, related. I'm not going to say related to the plot. It's just all about, you know, the scene type dialogue. It's not, you know, there's not a lot of character development. I'll say there's subtle character development throughout this, but it's all more in like a haze, or, you know, there's not, and you got to watch it through to see what's going on, and you learn a little bit about everybody that gets involved here. So I found it really interesting, and it made me think to myself, you know, like, how does like this movie get written? And I'm just going to share the beginning of it with you, because I think that'll give you my insight to that. So in the beginning, you see two illegal immigrants, when they come out to be walking down the road to the place where people will come and pick people to go work on their farm or whatever it is, right? Him and his cousin, evidently, our main character, who is Felix, and his cousin. I don't even know his cousin's name, and here's why. They get to the truck, and the guy picks his cousin, not Felix, and to go work wherever he wants him to. I think it's roofing. Go do a roofing job, and doesn't pick Felix. So Felix is left out on the side of the road by himself, you know, whatever. And that's where he kind of bumps into Luke Hemsworth and Paul Johannes, who are looking for, you know, other people to do work, and that's where they're digging the ditch. But he also bumps into I don't even know, Alfonso. So first he bumps with Alfonso, who's just having his lunch or something like that. They don't hit it off, right? But he's got a truck. He's looking for work. He has a sign there, but he really treats him poorly. So he goes into the hardware store or whatever, and that's where he finds Luke Hemsworth. They need him to dig a ditch, but they need a guy with a truck. So he goes back out to the guy who was just mean to him and says, "Hey, I got a job for us if you want to do it." And so they're the two ditch diggers. And the reason I go that elaborate into it, because I think it's like the idea like that, like somebody's just like, by happenstance, you're going to bump into a guy who happens to have a truck, and then find another guy who needs a job for a guy who needs a truck, right? And I'm going to build a movie off of that. I don't know if that's the way it happened, but that's the way it feels like it happens. Like I sometimes have cool ideas for, I think, what I think is a movie, but they're like that. There's just a main point, and then you have to build everything else, and that's what happens. And it continues on for another hour and 10 minutes. That's the first 10 minutes of the film. But like they said, the guys that are hiring him to build this or dig this ditch are not on the up and up, and they say that they the last credit I can't say to you, but it's funny. It's just there. I just reading it. So if you check it out, stay to the last credit and see what it says. So they're bad. They're psychopaths, I think they said. So then that comes out, and you can see how wow, they just hired these two guys to dig a ditch. Like, what are they going to do with those guys, kind of thing, right? And it just continues to build and build upon that. And our main character is first day in the United States, right? So our main character is Felix. First day in the United States, he left his entire family back in Ecuador in order to save enough money to bring them into the United States, I believe, or at least get them out of their living situation. That's the character development for our man Felix, and that's really all you need, and that's all you really get until you get way further into the film, until you start figuring out like who's Luke Hemsworth and Paul Johansson, as I said, are the ones who want to do the ditch. Then there's Tyree Gibson who comes into it, and then Thomas Jane who's in it as well. I feel bad for that guy, but you see how he rolls into it, and they all come together, and outside of that, that's really it. And there's the guy with the truck. I forget his name. I know his nickname. I can't share it. That'll ruin the movie. But anyway, all of that, and I feel it's. I had another. I think it's so. I don't know. There's not a lot to it, but there's enough to enjoy it. I had it thought out in my mind before I turned on the recorder, but it seems. I don't know. I liked it. It was well done. It was like a nice short film that packed it all in. You don't need it. This is showing you don't need all that other stuff to put out a good film. And so, we're definitely worth it. I know it's only a 5.1 on IMDb, but I'm encouraging others to go out and see it. Now, here it says an hour and 32. So maybe it is a little bit longer, but on IMDb it said an hour and 20. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But check it out. Oh boy, I feel like I've just talked a lot there. But if you like action, crime, like I'll say gangster type, where they're doing that type of thing, and I don't want to say anymore. There's another piece I'd say, but that'll kind of give it a little bit away. Now I will say, the ending. I mean, like, I liked a lot of it, and that's it. So that's all I got for you. I am gonna say a little spoiler. Not gonna ruin the ending, but I will say a little bit more about the movie. So if you don't want to hear that, I encourage you. If you like these types of movies, check this one out. It's worth the $4.99. If you want to drive the red box and get it for $1.99, do that. But hopefully you're not disappointed. But let me know what you think. Alright, with that said, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So the other guy's the truck driver's name, the God Killer. You know what? I changed my mind on that. I do like what they did. Normally you're always, I even talk about it before, you always want that bow, right? That nice bow tied up, everything's great. Not in this case, right? And that's the way they do it. So I changed my mind. I was going to say before I didn't like that, because you didn't want to see that happen to him. But then again, like every movie's like that, right? Everybody walks away scot-free, all the good guys, but not in this case. So I changed my mind just as I switched to that, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So not much not to like, I don't think. Anyway, all right, that's it. If I could think of the other term, maybe I'll put it up in the words or something like that. Probably not. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.